Well, howdy, folks.
Well, welcome everybody back to another episode of Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. I am Scab from CHOIRBOYZ CUTLERY. Before I bring in Joe to introduce our special guest, we're going to open it the same way we do every day. 22 veterans a day in this country take their own lives. Vets, we love you. You have a place here. Now, I want to add this as well. I want to make October. I haven't talked to you, Joe, about this yet, but I'd like to make October, and I'm taking a recommendation from Dan. I want to take and everybody start writing your senators and congressmen and getting some answers on this 22 a day. Vets, you're important to us, and we appreciate you and love you. That being said, Joe, take it away, buddy.
That sounds like a great idea, Scab. So, hey, everybody, welcome to Blade Talk, as Scab said, with Scab and Joe. My name is Joe from Steel Forge and Fire, Sword and Knife. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us. So, we have a very special guest coming in today. And now that all like the galaxies and all the stars aligned and we're finally kind of all getting together, we finally got this going. So I'm happy to say we have the one and only, the infamous Karl Ruedger.
Yeah, infamous.
Of Blade Talk. And Karl is so many things to so many people. And we're definitely going to talk about all of that stuff today. So Karl, thanks for joining us on Blade Talk, my friend.
I appreciate it.
So how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Just trying to figure out all this witchcraft.
Well, what Karl is
bunch of sorcery.
Witchcraft is basically trying to get him on and get it going with this whole webcam thing. So that's the witchcraft that Karl speaks of. So.
Yeah, a bunch of Jetson stuff going on.
He calls it witchcraft. I call it my life.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, let's do this. Karl and I have been acquainted for most of my journey on YouTube. Yeah. I think you subbed to me when Ken, Backyard Knife guy, whatever his name is now, Backyard Samurai,
within minutes.
Shouted me out. So let's start with this. One, we have Backyard in common, and Ken is a great guy, and I'll say that every damn chance I get.
Yeah.
He means so much to a lot of people that you guys don't see. And I know, Karl, Ken coined the phrase to you, show me, don't tell me. Is that right? Is that how you got started?
He didn't coin it. He got it from Bob, the English Gentleman channel. I used to be called something Battleside before, but Battleside. But yeah, show, don't tell.
And that's what got you started.
Oh, that was kind of what helped push me over the edge. My brother, who's my hero, he's the one that kept. I told him I've been watching YouTube a lot. This is a year or two ago, whatever. And he said, "Man, you should be doing that. You're into so much different stuff, with the paintball and the bushcraft or camping, like I call it camping too. The knives, the swords, the boxing, and And speaking of, real quick, this is my brother right here, who's my hero. This is with his Special Forces unit when he was with Triple Canopy over in Iraq. And Triple Canopy is a contractors that they absorbed Blackwater when Blackwater went under. So he did that for a while. He's got he's in the Marine Corps and a helo company for 6 years. He's in the Kentucky National Guard now, but the dude is a badass and runs with badasses. So, he's my hero. He's the one that kind of initially is the one that said, "Here, you need to start doing that. You get all kinds of people to watch." But, I've already talked to you guys before, but, I don't really care about that part. How many, it's cool that I get shout outs and subs, but, for the most part, like me and Joe were talking, I do it for a specific reason, basically. So, and Ken jumped in there and said, show, don't tell. And basically don't be a bitch, put up or shut up. It's about, how Ken rolls, everybody puts on a mask when they're on camera, but I believe that Ken is what you see is what you get with that boy.
Yeah. 100%.
And Eric Hussein, he pushed me into it too. So.
Yeah. Well, all that being said, and like I said, what you get, Ken's not putting on mask. I promise you.
No, and that's why I like him. That's how I was raised. That's how.
That's the draw.
Well, if I could just jump in for a second, I haven't been YouTubing very long, as long as you guys. But Ken is. I think I have ties to Ken as well, because Ken was again. In terms of his swordcraft and his collections and his cutting, he really kind of pushed me into also getting into it as well. Eric, well, really, to be honest with you, it was Karl first, Karl and Eric, along with, been watching Ken for such a long time. But I remember that you guys gave me words of confidence when I had like 25 subs.
Yeah, and I think before you had your channel, you had your cinematography channel, and I was the one that went over there because you just had in your cinematography channel, you had a sword video, and I commented on that, and ever since that point, you jumped over and we all gave you a big hug. And
Steel Forge and Fire, I started it up. That's when I had the cinematography channel, and then I kind of bridged over. But it was from your words of confidence, from Eric kind of pushing me along. And that's basically where I am. So, we have some history, you and I, Karl.
Absolutely.
And I'm appreciative because, honestly, you're one of the figures that kind of really pushed me to going into it as well. So, and listen, what goes around, comes around. It's a round table. We all support each other. That's what this community is built of. I know the shout-outs, you don't do it for the shout-outs, but it's going to come because you're very shout-worthy. I mean, there's so much that you do on your channel. And honestly, Karl, seriously, everything that you give to the community and the support you give to everyone, you're a confidant to many people, including myself. And
I suppose
people know that. People are aware of it, and people see it. So the sentiments are
that's
pretty.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Regardless of why you do it, or people say, Karl and Electro, and don't care this, that, or other. You should care. Here's why. You influence so many people. You've kept me on here. There's been many a times I was going to say to hell with it. Yeah. You're an ambassador for the sword community, the bushcraft community. You basically, everybody I get credit for everything under the sun, and it's not deserved. You are the bridge to the Fatwood guys. Yeah. And so you should care. Now sub count, I get. I understand, and you don't do it for that, and I get it. Big Red EDC, same thing. And really, I don't do it specifically for the sub count. I do it because I enjoy it. But you have a massive influence across a great divide, and let's take that into last weekend into Dangerfest. For 2 years in a row, I'm jealous. I've watched you, and I watched Eric, and Cap was there.
Yeah.
Tell me how you got involved with Dangerfest.
Eric Hussein. He talked about it, and I watched his video on it a couple years ago, and looked like fun. And I didn't know anybody. I don't know anybody from Adam, but I got to know Eric pretty well, other than YouTube, talking to him and stuff like that. And he said, "Are you going to go? I want you to go." And I'm only an hour away, so I was like, "Yeah, what the hell? Perfect. I'll go." So, and it was cool. It was.
How many years have you been going to Dangerfest now, Karl?
This is my second year.
Oh, it's the second year.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But it's kind of a nerve-wracking thing. Not nerve-wracking, but to meet people that and face to face that we already know, and just like Captain. Meeting him and Eric beforehand, it's like nervous. You're nervous, are these people really like what they say and this and that? But then you got what calms me is I just think about it. I've been like Captain. And Eric. I've been in his kitchen. I've been in his bedroom. Yeah. I've been in his his bathroom. All that stuff. I've been watching him take a dump, and when he was on video, I think one of his videos, Captain had a video like that. So it kind of calms me and be like, I've been in this guy's house, so there's no reason to be nervous about it. So now it's good.
When you went, I watched. I think Captain Electro put out a video yesterday or today.
Today, yeah.
It was today. Now, I will say this. You are well known for several things, one of which is snoring. Did you know that?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I was texting Cap.
That wasn't me.
Well,
maybe we should get the
that
missus
was the
on
wife.
Maybe we should get the missus on the phone.
Because I had, I think watch yourself now. Last Saturday, whatever night it was, I had texted Cap. I'd watched like a video clip, and I said, man, I'm glad you are having a good time. I'm jealous. And I said, I hope I didn't wake you or something like that. And he said, no, man, I just took a whore bath. He said, Carl's about 10 feet away, snoring like a freight train. And the full thing planter down by the fire. So, yeah, they told on you.
Tell him, Scab, I snore like a man.
Now, let me ask you this, because Joe and I, we've got some trips planned for next year in talks.
Yeah.
Do you just load up the truck and go, Carl? Do you just put all your swords in? I mean, what do you take a limited amount of stuff? Let's start with this, because I know you took a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
What swords did you take?
All of them.
Okay. You did take all of them.
You took your evolution blades?
I took them all. Them all.
Wow. Yeah. That's ballsy.
Yeah. It was like probably 74 pounds or more of katana that I took. So,
man.
Yeah, we had I made a day before we left. I made a display stand and set that all up out there. So,
nice.
I took everything in the kitchen sink, including the kitchen sink. My wife threw an inflatable kitchen sink too. So, I mean, if you guys go, anything you need, I pretty much got. Now
go ahead, Skip.
Did you get there on Friday? Is that what you did?
Yeah, Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everything kicked off Saturday.
No, they start Friday midday, I think. They start throwing Friday midday. But
do you have like maybe one of those portable house kits that you can take with you that can just inflate? Because I think I'm not really the camper and the
that's what Scab was thinking. He's not much of a sleeping on the ground type of guy.
So if you have one of those kits that just inflates into a house or an apartment or something like that, I'll take it.
But I'm sure we could figure something out.
But that sounds great. So tell us about
good times.
Yeah, tell us about meeting Cap for the first time. Because I am very much looking forward to meeting Cap for the first time.
He is a very genuine dude. I mean, I know that might sound cliche, but he is. He's a great guy. Just talking about him, I start grinning. Because he's got a good sense of humor. I don't know what to say. He's a great guy. He's him and Eric both. I really dig him.
Come across very. We've talked to Eric a couple times on Blade Talk. What's weird, and you touched on it, is I talk to Joe more than I talk to Megan on the phone. But like you said, we see each other just about daily in video or messaging or talking.
Yeah.
So meeting each other really, honestly, for me is like. Like I know you. It's like, okay,
you do know me. So
yeah. And I think that's a cool part of it, a cool aspect of it. Now, Eric said there was about 100 people there.
Yeah.
More?
Yeah.
Really?
I'd have to say, because everybody, they bring their families with them. So it'd have to be more than that. But yeah, they're a good bunch of folks. And like I was telling Brandon, I played paintball for 20 some odd years, and I got lifelong friends from it. And when I go there, I get so heartsick because they're so cohesive, and there's everybody, all these hundreds of people, which I have same thing, 100 or more people that I off and on through this paintball field that we used to run. I just miss my friends and getting together and playing paintball with my friends when I go to this thing. And it's just like, it kills me. But I'll get to know these people a little more. But they're so welcoming, and they're so, whatever you don't have, these guys, male guys and girls, they start throwing stuff at you. Oh, you need this, you need that. And that's just like my paintball crew that I used to run with there,
And so this is all at Danger's place, right?
Yeah. Right. It's at his dad's bait shop. So he's got like a bunch of acreage, some woods, some swampy, but it's a bait shop area.
Now your swamp is different than my swamp.
Indiana don't have no moccasins. Let's put it that way.
I killed one today.
Did you?
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. He about got me. I didn't, and I don't like doing. I'll be honest with you. As much as I've got a couple of snakes tattooed on me, I despise them. But I don't like killing anything. But he was coiled up at the bottom of a tree, and it was kind of like, moccasin don't back up. All that bullshit about, they're more scared of you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They're a snake with an attitude.
They'll come at you. They're territorial. I had a guy tell me one time, he said, man, just stand there and go by. I said, okay.
I don't mind killing an animal if I'm going to eat it. I'm just not going to just go kill an animal for nothing.
But it wasn't going to pop me.
Right. You're going home.
Full set to go.
Yeah.
Old Scabber was just a little quicker.
They got moccasins where you're at, Joe?
I'll let them go.
There is possums where I'm at.
Possums? They don't have moccasins? Water moccasins where you're at?
Possums and raccoons. That's about it.
And rats the size of a dog.
Freaking squirrels. No, the rats are more like, in Manhattan, you'll get some of the rats, or maybe near some of the water lines, you get those big ass water rats, but not where I am. I mean, mostly just like a lot of raccoons and possums here and there, but that's about it. That's the wildlife where I am. And squirrels, I hate.
Well, you don't want to reach down and grab either one of them, I promise you.
No,
yeah.
Especially no raccoon, a mama coon. Mm-mm.
Oh man.
Let's do this. What's in your pocket, Carl? Because I got a couple questions on a couple knives, and I wanted to. What you carrying?
Well, I have of course, like you already know, because you know me. I got the CJRB Feldspar, and I'll be carrying this for probably a few years until I find something that tickles my fancy a little bit better. And on my side, well, it's not on my side, but it was till I sat down, is, of course, the Randall.
Absolutely.
There it is.
How's that holding up?
Great.
Now, what steel is that?
This is a 440A.
Really?
Yep. I could have got a O2 tool steel, which would have cost me a little bit more, but I decided to go. For some reason, they have this 440A heat treatment down. They got it down pat, and I guess 440A is better than 440C, I guess. But
it's actually okay. It depends.
I'm not a steel guy, you guys know way more steels than I do. So
I'm not either, but I'll say this, Carl. I had Boker made one. My guy Kirk gave me a Boker, $50, $60 knife, and it was 440A. And Kirk, who is a steel guy, was like, man, it's not good steel, blah, blah, blah. But what I found with 440A is this. It is corrosion resistant out the ass.
That's why
it's a good edge.
That's why they use it on the number 5, and it's called the Camp and Trail.
Makes sense.
Because you're going to be outside in the woods in the morning time, so they make that out of 440A, just like you said. I keep pointing at you, so if I'm looking down or
that's all right.
We got it.
Okay, I'm looking at you guys. So
we got
it. Yeah, that's why they made it, is to be corrosion resistant. So.
That's fascinating, Joe. I might have talked to you. My little kayaking deal, Carl, and I hadn't said much about it I had, it was the one time I didn't carry a knife. And when I rolled over, and it was just a freak thing, when I was going over, I said in my head, I'm going to bounce off the bottom and come up. We were in a creek, is what it was. When I rolled over, my feet got caught. I have a leash on my paddle. Yeah. My feet got caught in that leash, and I couldn't come up, and the current was bad. And I come up once and hit the boat, come up again, and I was kind of pinned, and it was just an odd. And I told Joe this, I told Megan this. Actually in my head, I thought this is it, and I'm not being dramatic, I'm just being honest. And the reason that I come up is I thought Megan's going to come in the water, and I knew if she got in with me, we were in trouble. Yeah, because you know how creeks are. They're fine, they're meandering, they're beautiful until they're overflowing. Yeah. And the current, I'm 280 pounds, and it had me pinned.
Pinned against a tree, or pinned where?
Up against a tree.
Yeah.
Because there was like a tree laying over in the bank, and there was about a 6-7 foot gap, okay? Normally, you'd have to do portage and just carry your kayak over.
Yeah.
Well, it's about 1.5 feet high. And when I told her I was sitting behind a tree, and it was crazy because I'm in the creek. I'm sitting behind a tree. I watch her try it. And Megan can sit dead still in rapids. She's just got, and usually she'll get right in front of me and stop. But she shot the gap and come back, and she said, we can't go much further. And I said, well, you know what? Because I've lost weight, I said, I want to try it. Man, I don't know what happened, Carl, but when I went, yeah. And it didn't push me over. It like when I went hard right, you would think I would roll right. I rolled left.
Yeah, opposite.
Right.
Kayaks, man. I'm a canoe guy. I fish out of a canoe. I camp, and I go canoeing and camping. I'm a canoe. It's more stable. I've been in kayaks, but yeah, they're dangerous. And even though, like you just said, even though the current may be, when you're in that water, it's a different story. It can be a slow meandering river, but like I said, when you're in that water swimming against current, it don't take long before you're winded, boy.
And my feet were wrapped up. My whole point to it was I didn't have a knife.
Not good.
And so I now in my bag I have that Boker with 440A. And I promise you, I don't give a damn if it's church, a funeral, wedding. I'm carrying a knife, man, because I really thought this. I mean, because all I had to do was reach down and cut it. I had enough presence of mind to go to my pocket, and I could feel the leash.
Yeah,
I was under there that long,
So did you just kick it off or pull it off?
I just come straight up. I can't explain it to you. The thought of her coming in the water, because I knew, because
you're like,
there's trees everywhere.
I'm going up.
And I thought, I'm coming out, because if she came in, we were both in trouble.
That's just plain adrenaline.
And
that just rushed through your body. Plain adrenaline.
But I said all that. One, I'm surprised that I'm glad Randall has a 440A, because that thing supposedly, from what I understand, and my understanding is limited, but my understanding is that is a highly corrosion resistant steel. And I promise you, Randall has their heat treat down on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Buck uses 440C, I believe,
420.
Right? Oh, 420. It is 420.
Oh, do they?
420C. Yeah.
Was it 420 or 440 before I say something stupid?
I don't know. I thought it was 440, but maybe I'm wrong.
So
I'm going to have to look that up.
We'll have to look it up. We'll get crushed in the comments.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look it up.
Get murdered.
God forbid I don't know to steal that buck. I mean, argument's sake, this is my first buck.
I love that knife.
So I'll show it to you in a second.
Carl, did you take your Randall with you?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did it hold up well?
Yeah. I didn't use it all that much, but we had that Fatwood Friday. It's the edge is held up. I did strop it when I got it, but of course. But it's the edge is holding up well. I don't have to put oil on it really. Probably should, but I haven't since. And
well, you know what? It's not like you're a novice at it. I mean, you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when you went to Danger, I believe you got a double at night, right? I'm sure you got more than one double. Yeah. But the one I watched, did you guys just cut the whole time?
No, we camp and just hang out, sit by the fire, eat. Captain was throwing a lot, so we'd go watch him, and then when it was he in his events, tried to get to most of them, but so no, we weren't cutting the whole time. We cut Friday night and we cut Saturday, and the rest of the time was hanging out, and we threw a little bit ourselves in the practice range. Me and Eric did, but now it's just fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I want to go next year. I want to make it.
I hope you do. Hope you and Joe both get to go in there.
We'll have to get a hotel around there because I'm not.
Yeah.
420 HC.
Oh yeah.
420 HC.
This whole time.
Yeah. So, I just had to let it go because I know we would get heat for it.
Oh yeah, we get killed, man.
Yeah.
As much as we push buck. Now, Carl, do you have any bucks?
I do. I have some buck folders, some slip joints, and Matt Pearson sent me a 110. It's a real slim bird and a small game knife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah, that was nice of him. I mean,
Matt's a good dude, man.
Yeah, the gentle giant.
There's some great folks in this community.
Yeah, the bushcraft community or the fatwood community and the sword and knife community. I was so surprised, at the loving and kindness in all these communities. We got lucky because there's some jerks out there, man. That's all they do is troll, and that's their gig. They just make people feel like shit or feel like crap. Sorry about that.
There's just something about guys and girls, obviously, because there's a lot of sisters of Blade there. That just there's some kind of a correlation that we have between us in terms of steel and blades and collecting and using. That it's different. I feel on YouTube.
Something about it. I agree. I agree.
It's different. It's not like any other industry or something. Everything else is like kind of solo, very dog eat dog. This is just different. Everyone kind of just always chimes in, to help each other out. It's definitely a different type of community.
Yeah, it definitely surprised me when I started commenting, and they took me and Eric and all them and took me in pretty good. But like I said, my initial thing for doing the YouTube was like what me and you, Joe, talked about is for my generations to come of my family to see their great grandfather. This is what he did. This is what he liked. This is what he was like. It's not, you call it a legacy, and I it's kind of a strong word for it, but it's just proof that Karl Ruedger lived in this day and age and took part in this thing. This life thing.
Right. And I had said it to you. The first time that we had spoken about that, me personally, I think that's very profound, because a lot of people don't realize when you're making up these videos and you're encapsulated in YouTube and you have all this exposure, you're talking, you're showing yourself, you're expressing your thoughts, you're on, everybody's mind and in their sights, and it's going to stay there as long as the YouTube channel is going. And, you are going to be remembered.
I think my reasons for doing it is pretty much a low percentage of people do it. They're doing it for other reasons. Mine is, and that's why subscribers at first, subscribers, you get hooked on that sub count. And, I'm just like anybody else. I'd get like, I'd get a shout out and I'd get, or whatever, just all of a sudden there'd be 13 new subs there. Yeah. And then the next day there'd be like 8 of them are gone. I'm like, what the, and I'd get pissed, man. I'd be like, what the hell? And finally I had to let it go. I had to let it all go.
Right.
And whatever happens. I'm not in it. I got to remind myself, I'm just in it to, for my family, for future generations.
And you're having a good time. I mean, listen, look at all the great people that you met.
Yeah.
Look at all the great friendships.
That's why y'all see me go hardcore, and there's a ton of content and idle hands. I do this for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it first and foremost. If I didn't like it, because I promise you there ain't enough money in it right now, or that I could foresee.
Yeah.
To where that if, I got to do it now.
Right.
But I love doing it. I love the people I've met. I love the community. And I think it's a testament to our community and the people in our community. We're just not going to let a lot of bullshit go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's too many good people.
Right.
And we're going to have differences. People have differences. Shit, you have differences.
You can be friends and not have to agree with every single thing your friend says. I mean,
absolutely.
You're still friends, but you don't have to agree on everything.
Right.
Yeah. Listen,
and that's the way you got to look at this.
Yeah, go ahead, Scab.
No, go ahead, Joe.
No, there just has to be that mutual respect as people. Mutually respect each other.
Joe.
Don't be an ass. Mutually respect each other. You could all have a difference of opinions, and if you are going to bring something up, make sure you have something to back that up. Don't just, speak shit without backing it up, And
here's another thing.
Show me, don't tell me. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, some of it too, with knives and blades and steel, it's so subjective.
Yeah.
I mean, quality's quality. Randall's quality. I love, That's a grill knife of mine. But for the most part, knives are subjective. It's what you like. It's what you like. It's what we can only review what's in our hands. We can only speak about what it shows. And that's what I'm going to do. And that, there's no point in getting all bent out of shape over anything.
Right.
Because everybody has my preferences are different than you two, and it's fine.
Yeah. Speaking of them katana behind you look pretty damn good, Joe.
Top is the Jakku one that you like with the red fire saya, which you have a sword that I actually got that saya. Hold on, let me get it for you without pulling my wires out. Oh. This is the actual saya that I got an idea from.
Oh yeah, that red crackled.
Yeah, the red crackle and all that. Yeah, I absolutely love this sword. This is probably one of the best ones they made for me.
I love that leather wrap. That's synthetic leather though, but
it might be like a pleather, but I gotta tell you, it's tight as hell.
I don't have any katana with leather, except that one that was sent to me recently by accident. Right. That was awesome sword.
We'll get to that.
Oh, will we? Okay.
People speak poorly about leather, saying it's just not very. It is very comfortable in the hand.
I thought it was the one they sent. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's like that, and then I got a Hanban Forge one, which.
And the Raptor down below.
And their Raptor right down below. That's one of my favorite babies.
The workhorse of the sword industry right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Karl, you have many faces. You have one face in front of me. There's a face. You have one face in front of me. You have many faces. There's Karl the Bushcrafter. There's Karl the Sword Handler and Practitioner. There's Karl the Knife Guy. There's Karl the Farmer. And then there's the Karl the Good Around Guy. All right. What do you want to tackle first, really quick? We'll talk briefly about all your many faces, buddy.
Whatever, man. I'm just into a lot of stuff.
Since we finished with swords, where does your training lie? Where did you start? Tell us about your training, your formal training in terms of being a sword practitioner.
Well, this is going to surprise you a bit, but as far as formal training, I'm self-taught. I went, a few seminars. I guess, but I do a lot of stuff like you just said. I'm all self-taught. I play guitar and do all that and everything. I'm self-taught. But like with the sword arts, I picked one certain art and I stuck with that, and I didn't deviate. I stuck with that, and I started in 2007. One of my best friends, who was literally, I consider my brother, he was killed. And he lived in Detroit there, and he was killed. And at his funeral, I got one of his Iaido books, and it was by Nicholas Swino. Swino? Well, however you pronounce his last name, Nicholas Swino. And it's Muso Jirkin Ieshinru, and I took that and I researched it on the internet, and I just stuck with that. And for 12 years, just about every day, I just practice and practice and practice. But I've been into swords and Japanese culture and history. You guys don't know this, but I know just about everything about Japanese samurai culture history ever since 1980. The miniseries Shogun came out.
Oh, Shogun, of course.
Yeah, and I watched that. I was like 9.
Right.
But I don't know why, but I saw that show and I was hooked. I was done. And it was after that, everything samurai Japanese culture, I was all over it. So
all right. So I got to say something, and I might piss a couple people off at this. Nah, it's all in good fun. I'm just fucking around.
Let it rip.
Dangerfest. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of great footage of Dangerfest. Okay, between all of your footage, caps that he just put up, or everything that Eric put up. And listen, we all know that Eric Hussein is a phenomenal cutter. I love his cutting. Yeah. It's outrageous. I mean,
to say the least.
Yeah. Out of all the cutting that I've seen, I kind of was most impressed with your cutting of those bottles. And I'll tell you why. Okay. Because, and you'll see, playing on screen right now, when you were cutting those bottles, it was so seamless, effortless, and controlled. Where it looks like you really didn't put much effort into it. You went in, you cut, you did the turn. It was just perfect. And that's the idea. Me, I don't know. That really just impressed me. And that goes with all of the practice and training that you did for yourself to get to where you are. you didn't have to take a really big swing, and it wasn't all about speed. It's about accuracy and just execution.
Minimal movement, minimal energy expenditure, and to get the cuts you need to make the kill. That's the art. Musogenic rule. There's nothing flamboyant. There's nothing crazy about it. And that one video, my Huawei video with the custom red katana, I did what I call the Hollywood chiburi, where you flip it around and you do the chiburi. But that's not part of the art. That's just something I threw in there. It's all minimal movements, because if you're fighting with swords, just a certain cut going for the arteries, or you got arteries here, all the way down, and
we're all talking hypothetically right now, guys. Okay.
Hypothetically, that art is least amount energy expenditure to so you survive. You're not. There are some Ruha that use crazy swings, and the one I practice is very. Very, very
and that really, I have to say, really, really impressed me. I really love those cuts. Yeah. So Eric, nothing against you guys. How many of you guys went down there? Was it just our initial group? Did you have a lot of other people join your group from other, communities that joined you guys in cutting? I'm just wanting to know, visualize, how that section of yours where you guys were just cutting. Who was joining you?
We were just outside of the throwing range, the range where they throw. And as soon as we set them katanas up, the knife throwing guys, they love blades. They love throwing blades. They love EDCs. They love And all of a sudden, when we set all them katanas up, and I took just about every knife I own, and I set them all out on a table. They just came up. They're like, oh, what's that? And they just came up, and some folks wanted to. There's a lot of people that didn't get on film, but a lot of people came up and did some cuts. And that one girl in my video, she's got black hair. I put on Lady of the Blade on there.
Yeah, I seen that.
You should have seen her face, both you guys, when she grabbed Eric's, because you could tell she was more of a Hema. She liked medieval stuff. You should have seen. You could hear angels rejoicing and singing when she pulled that out. And she was, several times. So it was so good to see, people really digging that stuff. So, but they just came out when we set it up. They all were like, "Whoa, what's that?" So, so they were all knife throwers.
Definitely. Yeah. So Dangerfest is something that we have to think about. Unless we have something else that comes up, I think that I'm definitely looking forward to next year, just doing some kind of a meet and greet and getting together with all you guys and finally kind of meeting face to face.
I've talked about it before, but I've with a few of you and a few others. But I'd like to do a cutting thing at my place here. I mean. But, it's just hard to see who would actually come, and you got to get time off work and all that stuff. So I'd like to do something here at some point with all the sword folks, and, but you never know. We'll see what happens.
We definitely, now that you brought it out there, I think we definitely got to kind of discuss where our next trip will be.
Yeah. Casa de Karl.
Yeah, so maybe we'll definitely try to bring that up. So if you guys are all listening, all of our normal folk. So Karl just basically threw it out there. So
I threw it out there.
I'm sure we're going to be talking about this for the next couple of weeks or months for sure. Karl the Knife Guy.
I did want to ask a couple things. The CJRB, the Feldspar.
Yeah.
That's the second one you've had?
Yeah, I bought.
Okay.
I got one, and it had canvas micarta, and I got another one, same model. They got a smaller model. But I got the 3.5-inch blade. But this one is burlap. Burlap micarta, which I wanted also. But this time it has a gold spacer here, washer. It was red before, which really caught my eye. But it is what it is. But
and you don't do a pocket clip.
I take the pocket clips off, so that way, people can say, "Oh, there's no hot spots." To me, I just don't like them damn pocket clips in my hand. I like it smooth. I like it in my hand and nothing. But I put the lanyard on there. Where am I at? Right there. So when it's in my pocket, and usually I'm at work and have gloves on, that lanyard hangs out there. So even if I have gloves on, I can just grab that and it's in my hand.
Yeah.
And it feels good in the hand. So, I mean, just it is what it is. It's just the way I carry it.
Looking handle. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Now that's that canvas Mike Carter, right?
That one was burlap, but my other one is canvas. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like those.
My ma, when I was a kid, she took me out back in the backyard, and she's from Kentucky, and she was like, because I'd have notebooks, just page after page after page of weapons, bladed weapons, and bows and arrows. I just draw them. And this is at like 5 years old, 6 years old. I was having a stack of notebooks of all just weapons, and she just thought something. I needed some counseling or something, and that's where it started. I don't know why, and I don't know how. It's just as long as I've been alive that I can remember, I've loved blades and knives. But I would get in my dad's box of knickknacks on his dresser. He had knives, jackknives, and I'd get in there, lose them, and he'd have to get more, and I'd lose them. But I just, for as long as I can remember, I've been into knives. No idea why. Just
people on the outside can't really understand it.
Yeah, they think there's something wrong with us.
Yeah, they think there's something wrong with us, especially. Knives are a little bit more. People can relate to knives a little bit more than swords.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Swords. When I tell people what I do when I'm into it, they kind of, oh really? Okay. But then the people that think it's cool and and can relate to it, but I don't care. I love it. That's just what it is. But the people on the inside can really relate to our love of blades. That's perfectly relative, and that's why we all kind of have this, this relation going on, and we this kind of camaraderie and all that stuff,
Yeah, I've always played. I've always been a monster fan. How many knives do you carry a day, Carl? 2?
2. I don't usually go more than that. A lot of times I'll carry a fixed blade and a lock back or a lock blade, a folder of some sort.
An electrician by trade?
Yeah.
So you need a knife. Yeah. I can't imagine. It'd be different. Now, Joe can't walk around with a bowie.
I was going to say, I would hope that every state is that way. In my heart, I hope that every state that the officers are like that, except for New York.
Yeah. Carl, you would not be very happy living in New York.
Yeah.
I can see that already. You wouldn't have a happy
says
life.
The same thing, man.
Well, again, it's where you live, though. We live in the country.
Yeah.
Upstate New York, I don't think they give a shit, honestly. It's just you're not walking around Manhattan or Brooklyn with a bowie. What's the guy's name? Tack has a YouTube channel, and he's in upstate New York.
I watched him.
Yeah, and they're not going to mess with you. It's just you can't walk around the city with it. But again, why would you want to?
Taipan.
Now, what steel is that, Carl?
I do believe. I can't.
It's all right.
It's the Sanmai. It's Sanmai. But,
okay.
I can't remember what type. I think it could be 01.
Okay.
And my Trailmaster buoy. They're both sharp, but
that I'm jealous of.
This Trailmaster, it came.
Let me see that spine.
Oh yeah. Trailmaster.
Goodness. Yeah. Holy crap. That thing's a beast.
And now,
what is that? 01, Carl?
Yeah.
See, my Recon Scout.
No, this is VG1.
VG1. Oh, have you sharpened that yet?
No, I didn't need to.
Okay, let me. When you do, let me know, because I've got an SRK that's VG1. VG10 is layered like Sanmai is layered.
Okay,
but VG1 is the hard metal. It's the one that's sandwiched in between. When I first started sharpening that thing, man, I played hell with it, but only because I wasn't sure what I had. I thought in my head, VG10, it's going to be soft, it's going to sharpen. Once I got it, okay, this is VG1. But that Trailmaster, man, I've been wanting one of them. Golly.
Yeah, I'm not a Cold Steel fanboy. Pretty much, I used to be back in the late '80s, early '90s. I was enamored by Cold Steel fixed blades. I still don't dig their folders very much, but I got 4 or 5 Cold Steel fixed blades that I've always wanted, and I've had a couple I've had for a while, but they're fixed blades for me. I don't care what anybody says. They're just badassery, as my friend Scab would say. And this one, my brother, who is an operator, carries all kinds of different fixed blades. I let him hold this. He said this Taipan was the best feeling nimble blade. This blade is meant, like I've said before, is meant for one. This ain't a bushcraft blade. No. This is for putting leaky holes in people.
Yeah.
That's
what a lot of Cold Steel stuff for. But if you can't, you don't get, I've said it a million times. I can't go out and fight somebody with it. So that's no, I wouldn't use that. I tell you what I did. I bought I like their SRKs.
Yeah, me too.
Enamored with that blade shape. And I think even Matthew Jensen was like, somebody gave him one. He was going to give it away, and then he held it. And he's like, no, there's just something about that SRK.
Yeah.
I got one in CPM 3V, which is a little more, it's the higher end. It's the higher end.
Okay.
But I'm going to use it for our January raffle, because my favorite SRK is the one that's in SK5.
Yeah.
Right.
See, you guys are, I know a little bit about
SK5 is like $10.95.
I like $10.95 is good. I like
I love it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like you have this higher end, like the 01s. Now my Recon, that's a 01.
Yeah.
I love it. But I'm going to use the CPM because I think it was like $220. I'm going to use it for a raffle. But I'm curious to see what you think on sharpening that Trailmaster.
Yeah, well, I plan on using it cutting wood. I usually carry a fixed blade when I'm out cutting wood, just in case I get pinched in a log and I need to take my limb off.
But I got to tell you, that's impressive to me, because I know you really like your stuff razor sharp, and the fact that you didn't have to put an edge on it
not at all.
Speaks a lot about that knife, because you really like your shit sharp.
I'm telling you,
to sharpen a lot of Cold Steels.
Yeah. They come Cold Steels, fixed blades. I'm sure the folders do too, come sharp out of the box.
They do.
But, I've said this before about different knives, like the BPS came pretty much the sharpest knife. This, I do believe, it was the sharpest knife I ever got out of the damn box. And it's the edge is a appleseed shape. Convex edge. So it's not hollow ground. Right. It's just like a katana, and man, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I can't even explain it.
I'm a big believer in that convex after using the Bark River and the
Bark River's one that was so nice.
Gear.
Got some good ones.
Bark Rivers are nice too.
Whew. Yeah.
They're nice.
Yeah.
Timbo 437, and if you can put this part in, Joe, I don't know if you can, but Timbo 437 sent me those 2 Bark Rivers. I'm shipping them back. Timbo. But that and JR sent that another Bark River. Anyway, Work Tough Gear, Bark River, they do that convex. Dude, I'm just like, and it seems to be very easy to maintain.
Yeah.
Is that true, Carl?
For me, it is, because for 2 reasons. The work sharp. I got the blade grinder attachment to where it gives you that flex in the blade. And also, if I'm doing it, I use a mouse pad. I'm not going to pick it up, but I use a mouse pad with super, super fine wet dry sandpaper. And what that mouse pad does, it lets it form perfect to a convex edge. And if you just do it on a hard surface, you'll get a bevel. But with that mouse pad, it's got some flex to it.
Just give some flow to it.
Yeah.
No, I'm a firm believer of that blade grind attachment on the Ken Onion. That definitely makes a world of a difference.
If you don't got it,
it does make a difference, especially when you sharpening swords and the big
Yeah.
buoys and all that stuff, it definitely comes in really handy.
Like right now, fall time for on the homestead here, there's a lot to be done. All the food preserving we do, and wood. Next weekend I'll be cutting wood all weekend to get my stores up of wood because I heat my house with wood.
Yeah.
That and the chickens and the goats and there's just fall and spring are real busy around here.
Yeah.
But I still try to keep at the YouTubes and keep at it. So.
And there is Carl's face as the homestead. Okay, farm.
Yeah.
It's your face there.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, Carl, you are really a lot of things to a lot of people. In terms of your knife collection and you don't just collect knives, you use your knives. I mean,
I use them.
You use your knives. You don't just
and I
collect
love
them.
I love them.
And your Randall, as important as of a knife it is to you, you use your Randall.
Yeah, that's my grail knife.
Which is impressive to me because it is your grail knife, but you do take pleasure in using your knife, which is great. And of course you use your swords. You don't just look at them and see how pretty they are and all that.
Yeah, some
and that's an
people
important
have
thing.
said that why have these if you're just going to keep them up on have so many of them.
Exactly.
But I run through them. I run through
Right.
all my swords and try to practice every day. Sometimes I'm unable to, but yeah, I use my stuff. It don't make to me. I like Donovan too. His are pristine, and he cuts paper with them. That's about it. And hey, whatever makes you happy in life, I say, go for it. To me, what makes me happy, if I buy something, I'm using that damn thing.
Right.
Yeah, to me that just makes more sense to me.
Me too. There's a few that I don't use, but for the most part, I use all mine.
I can see where it could be hard to use all of yours.
It is.
I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
But I do want to make sure too that I have something for my sons and my grandsons.
So getting back to using your knives, I mean 100%. I mean, listen, I would have a lot more EDCs if I could use them more, and it wasn't such a restriction as far as carrying them around, because I do love EDCs, and these are currently my two favorite, the SE Avispa, and I really like this Buck Bantam. It's a great knife, but this is just, I gotta tell you, Scab, I really love this thing. This SE Avispa, been carrying around for a couple weeks now. Such a solid, good knife. It's a great knife. It really is. And of course, you guys know my shower knife.
Yeah.
That's my shower knife. There you go. All right. So you guys, listen, we're going to close this off because a lot of great stuff, Carl. I just want to tell you, thank you for making the choice to be on YouTube. You're a lot of things to a lot of people. I enjoy your content. And here's the shout out. So if you guys are not subscribed, there's your sign. If you're actually, hold up that sign as I give you a shout out so they can recognize you. So if you are not subscribed to Karl Ruedger, please, I'll leave the links to all of our channels in the description. Subscribe to Karl, subscribe to us, and you'll definitely enjoy his content. Like I said, you'll find a little bit of everything from bushcrafting, sword work, practitioner work, knives. You'll see the Randall, the infamous Randall, and you'll really enjoy his stuff. And let's get behind Karl and definitely watch his channel. And listen, that's the way, that's the round table. That's the way it all goes around on this YouTube thing. So thank you, Karl, for making the decision to come in.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Enjoyed having you, brother. Good talking to you again.
Yep.
Definitely. And I'm sure we'll follow up someday. I'm sure everybody will leave some comments. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this Blade Talk call. I'm very happy you were on, and I'm happy to speak to you, in more of a, just casual tone type of
Personable
thing.
Karl, I love you. I appreciate you being on. I mean that. I am looking forward to next year, whether it's your place or Dangerfest or somewhere. I think we should really try to shoot to do a meet and greet. Life gets busy. I get it.
Yeah.
But thank you for being on. I'm definitely going to, I know, we may be going to Detroit at Christmas. If we do, I'd love to see you. We'll figure something out.
Cool. Sounds good, man.
That'd be cool.
And thank you for being on. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yep.
Yeah. Hope you learned something today, Karl. As far as the witchcraft,
yeah,
as far as the
yeah.
witchcraft is concerned,
I learned some sorcery, is what I learned.
I taught Captain Electro a lot of stuff too when he came on, so he was actually very happy
Yeah.
about that. So, but I second that too, Carl. I love you, brother.
All right, love you guys too, man.
I appreciate you as a friend and as a YouTuber that I watch. I enjoy the content. Thank you for being on, and to everybody else, guys, thank you for joining us in Blade Talk. As always, please check out all of our channels, and we appreciate you guys being here. And excellent. So stick around to the next Blade Talk, guys. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day or night, depending on when you're watching this. Do not forget our veterans, okay? Hashtag 22 a day. We love our vets. There's a place for you guys all here. And we love you all. Thanks for being here, guys. And we'll wrap it up. Signing off. Thanks for joining Blade Talk. Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Scab.
See you, fellas.
See you guys later. Ciao, ciao.